Well, thank you everyone for joining me. As I said, just a reminder that we are recording this video or this message and this meeting, and it will be posted online for parents who aren't able to attend. So that's just as a reminder to all of you. So I want to tell you that today we're going to come back and visit a few topics that we talked about before. The first is Chromebook distribution and continue to provide information about how we can get students Chromebooks that need them or hotspots. We're going to talk again about AP exams. This is just a reminder. Talk about how we're going to close out some of that third marking period grading. Talk about the messages that have come from both BCC and MCPS about the fourth marking period grading, and then answer a few questions that were submitted via the online form. So the first thing I want to talk about is that Chromebook and Wi-Fi distribution. Last week I shared that has been sent back to the schools to handle in terms of the Chromebook and Wi-Fi hotspot distribution. At BCC, we are actually handling that distribution on Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. There's someone in the building with those devices, and we're there to provide either new, or if there are, a student who has a Chromebook that is not working, we can replace that out. We do encourage everyone to try to pre-arrange and let us know that you're coming so that we make sure we have enough devices. But we, at the time anyway, we do have enough of both the hotspots and the Chromebooks to accommodate walk-in requests. So, if your child wakes up on a Tuesday morning and the Chromebook's not working, you could come by school that same day without getting in touch with us and letting us know in advance. But the best route is still to contact the grade level administrator to let them know that you need one, so that we can ensure we are able to get deliveries from Octo if we're out or if we know that we're running low. So the better we can plan in advance for that, the better we are, because they do not want to be in a situation where someone shows up and needs something that same day and we're unable to honor that request. So, and again, I shared this last week, but I just want to make sure that everyone has it again and bring it back to the forefront. If, as a parent or a student, you are having difficulty with your Chromebook or with your Wi-Fi hotspot, there is a number you can call for MCPS. It is 240-740-7022. That number does take messages, and it is in English and in Spanish, and then actually the tech support person calls you back if you're going to do that. So that is how that system works. The next piece I want to talk about, just come back to something I talked about last week again. AP exams begin next Monday. All AP exams have been switched to an online format and are only 45-minute exams. And every student has gotten specific information if they're taking the exam from College Board or from BCC. The parents have been sent some information. It is important to know that every student who's registered for the exam, even though we've opened up a little bit the window of time and we'll accept cancellations, every student who is registered right now will get a link to that exam. And if your child is choosing not to take the exam, they must not access the exam. Once that exam, the link has been clicked, the exam has been opened, and we will be charged for it, which means that we will ask the child to pay for it if they click on that link. So it's very important not to click on the link unless you're really planning to take that test. That's just a reminder that we have. So I want to talk a little bit about the third marking period and closing out those grades. If you were in one of the meetings we had a couple of weeks ago, or in that, a lot of students received incompletes for the third marking period, and that was because either they had not done the work necessary to demonstrate mastery of content in the third marking period, or there were technology issues, or they asked for additional time. There were lots of reasons students might have received incompletes during that time. We were given the discretion as a school to come up with a school-wide kind of system and date for how we were going to address those incompletes. We as a school leadership team met, and we decided that we would look at May 15th as the deadline for seniors to rectify and get their work completed to address that. And May 22nd would be for underclassmen, for anyone who's not a senior. May 22nd is the last day for seniors, and that's why we backed that date up 1 week for them. It's so that if there are any issues or any concerns we have, it gives us a little bit of additional time to work with individual seniors and make sure that we have the work that they need. If a child has an incomplete, the teacher and student will develop a plan to remove that incomplete. And as parents, you should be getting a message from the teacher and your child about what that plan is. Most of the time, that plan will just be, in order to change this incomplete, you have to complete and submit this assignment or these 2 assignments, or come to my online Zoom class for this session to talk about this. There will be some specifics. It shouldn't be an overwhelming plan. If you feel like it is, you can reach out to me and we can talk about the specifics of it. But there is a need to have those completed so we can clear up the marking period. Grades well, we know that. In terms of the 4th marking period, there's been a lot of communication about this. I talked about this last week. 2 weeks ago, MCPS announced that the 4th marking period would switch to pass or incomplete grading for the 4th marking period only. And last week I shared what we had said to teachers was that we're going to ask our teachers to keep doing what we've always done, that they should be giving 1 or 2 meaningful assignments every week that should be communicated, and they should be using the grade book just like they had done in the 1st and 2nd and beginning part of the 3rd marking period to communicate with students, to share their feedback, and to make sure that the students knew how they were performing. We also said to teachers that they should continue giving their meaningful and timely feedback to students in whatever process they had been using for the entirety of this school shutdown, whether that's through email, through My MCPS Classroom, through Google Classroom, whatever they've been doing, they should continue to do that. So this past Sunday, on May 3rd, MCPS shared the chart that is on the screen right now, and I'm going to read it for those of you who are on the phone. So it says that a student will earn a grade of pass by meeting at least 2 of the following measures. The first measure is assignment completion, that the student will complete assignments on a consistent basis, at least 50% of the assignments. The second item is content and skills, that the student will demonstrate understanding of concepts or application of skills on assignments turned in through grades, scales, and other rubrics. The third is engagement, that the student will consistently engage by attending scheduled teacher check-ins, ongoing communication with the teacher, or other activities such as discussion boards or digital classroom activities. And the fourth item is teacher professional judgment. And that's that based on the body of evidence and a holistic view of students' performance within the context of the circumstances caused by the pandemic, when it benefits the student. So that's a lot of information there. We, as we've talked about it at BCC and as we've looked at it, our guidelines and our guidance that we had sent to our staff really aligns with this in terms of what we're asking students to do. We want students to continue to complete work. We want parents to be able to tell if students are completing work. We want the feedback to really demonstrate whether or not they understand the content and skills that are being taught. The last two items there, the engagement and then the teacher professional judgment, those continue to be areas that we're emphasizing with both staff and students, that we do want there to be opportunities for students to interact with their teachers, to make sure that they're doing formative assessment, something I talked about last week, really knowing how well students are mastering concepts and how well they are performing at different points along the curriculum. And the other part, the teacher professional judgment, is really just the idea that we continue to emphasize with our teachers that we do want to do what's in our students' best interest and try to make sure that we are giving them the benefit of the doubt in everything, because we're in a set of circumstances right now that none of us have ever been before, and we it's a struggle if we start to make assumptions about what students should have been able to do or could be able to do in any given situation when we don't know their specific needs or what they are able to do in that time. So that's where we are with MCPS in terms of how BCC is implementing the MCPS guidance from this past weekend. If there are concerns you have about how your child is performing in a class, again, the first level of that communication would be to reach out to the teacher and talk with them about where they are. I do want to emphasize that this framework and how students earn pass does not say that, the students must only earn a 50% on assignments, all that. They have to do the work and they have to demonstrate the content and skills. So we have to make sure that we're following through on that. What we do want to make sure also is that our students, when we move to the next level, if that's seniors that are graduating or if that's ninth graders who are becoming 10th graders, that we're really making sure that they're prepared for whatever's coming next. So if it's that they're moving into English 10, or they're moving to the next level of a language or the next level of math, or if they're moving into, if they're currently in one of the tech ed classes and they need to move to the next level, AP computer science or something, that they really have those foundational skills so that they're prepared for that. So we're not in we don't develop a need for a constant loop of reteaching and spiraling the curriculum back when we want to try to move forward. So in terms of marking period 4 grades, the other piece that I continue to receive questions about and be asked about is really how that is going to be impacted on the transcript. And that is still to be determined. On May 12th, the Board of Education will hear recommendations and take actually final action on what that will look like. MCPS sent out an email last night, hopefully all of you received that, that they are looking at 4 primary options. And there was a video in that email, actually Scott Murphy, who's the Director of Secondary Curriculum and Supervision Curriculum Programs, I can't remember the exact title, but I'm actually just gonna play that video for you all now. The video is only about 3 minutes, so I'm gonna do that. And since I did it last week, I actually know how to do that pretty well.
These are extraordinary times in education. This is our new normal. These are extraordinary times in education. This is our new normal of how we are going to be teaching and learning. And we also define this new normal of what grading looks like in our classrooms. The traditional, precise way of how we measure grades with points and percentages, in this new normal, we're really beginning to think about it differently, which is why we've developed an initial framework for a pass or incomplete for this marking period, for marking period 4. But a semester grade is really important. A semester grade is what gets factored into a cumulative grade point average, or a GPA, which colleges do look at when students apply to college. The semester grade is the one that's counted on, that is listed on the high school transcript. So the way it works is the marking period 3 grade is combined with the marking period 4 grade to create that semester grade, which again is the one that counts for GPA and is posted on the high school transcript. There are many different ways to get to that semester grade that matters for GPA. One is a universal pass or incomplete. That would be the same letter grade for all students across the district. Colleges have actually said that they understand the extraordinary nature of this pandemic and understand that not all school systems will be giving letter grades this semester. But we've heard a lot of feedback from our community about the importance of letter grades, the importance of GPA, and there are options to actually to calculate a semester grade in different ways that uses a letter grade. One option is to look at where a student was at the end of the 3rd marking period. Take the 3rd marking period grade, a pass for the 4th marking period. That could then lead to a semester letter grade that is where it was as of the end of the 3rd marking period. So another factor to consider is that some students feel like the grade at the end of the 3rd marking period was not necessarily representative of their work throughout the quarter, particularly the way schools closed abruptly and the way that we ended the marking period in a remote learning model. So another option is to give students a bump up from where the grade was at the end of the marking period. For example, take the letter grade for marking period 3, pass marking period 4, and that results in one letter grade higher than where it was at the end of the 3rd marking period. In fact, our current grade system actually does that now, where if you earn an A for the 1st marking period of the semester and a B for the 2nd marking period of the semester, scenario, the simple best interest all started. So these are all the factors to think about. Recommendations that would be moving forward to the Board of Education. Everything from universal passage complete for all students to all the different ways to calculate semester grade. Because we have heard from our community that the letter grade isn't for our students. It does matter for GPA. So we are looking at all of these different factors and bring recommendations to our board next week.
So I understand that there was some feedback and static on the other end of that video. So I apologize for that, but that is in the email message that was sent out by MCPS last night and also linked on the MCPS website. I do want to share that the reason I chose to play that video is actually that that does contain all the information we have at this point. The high school principals were meeting later today, hopefully to have some more clarity around that, but right now that's what we have. I did reach out to Mr. Murphy this morning to ask if there would be any kind of formal survey that might be sent out to parents to get their input on this and really kind of feel that out. He shared that because of timing, they wouldn't be sending out a formal survey, but he did say that families were welcome to share their input by sending an email to askmcps@mcpsnd.org. So that is an option if you have an opinion and you want to share information about your thoughts on what MCPS should be doing moving forward with the transcript grades after the end of the fourth marking period. So a couple of questions that were posted in the online chat. The first is there an update on the status of graduation? The short answer to that is no, there's not an update on the status of graduation. The MCPS did say last week that they would announce a decision this week sometime. Don't know when to expect that decision, but we are hopeful again that they are taking into consideration the feedback that parents and students and staff members provided, and that they will come up with something that is an appropriate way to recognize the achievements of our graduates and also keep everyone safe, which is as important. So another question that was asked is when and how will yearbooks, caps and gowns, and other previously ordered items be distributed? There are several layers to this question. One issue is that actually items that were ordered in bulk and were to be delivered to the school are unable to be delivered at this time to the school building because we are actually not open there for about 3 hours a week. There are building services crew there, and then those administrators who are there on Tuesdays, but UPS and FedEx, for example, aren't doing large orders like would be required for yearbooks, caps and gowns and other things. The other piece is that it actually, because of the need to, the governor's order just for essential travel and essential equipment, none of those items we've been told would be considered essential. So we would not be able to distribute those at this time anyway. If you ordered a yearbook, a cap and gown, any of those other items that were ordered through the school, we will ensure that you get those items as soon as we're able to. I do know that caps and gowns were ordered directly through Herff Jones. So that would be through them. But we will make sure that anything that we were supposed to distribute at school is distributed as soon as we are able to do that. And so that is the end of what I have in terms of discussion today. I want to go back to something I've displayed every time we do these meetings. If you need to get in touch with someone, you are always welcome to reach out to me. You could also contact Mr. Levine if your child is a 12th grader, Mr. Nelson if your child is an 11th grader, Ms. Sutton for 10th graders, and Dr. McGarwa for 9th graders. Dr. McGarwa is on paternity leave this week, so any questions for 9th graders from now through Monday should actually come directly to me. All of our email addresses are available on the BCC website, as well as the email addresses of all of our teachers. In addition, if you need to call and leave a message on the main school line, you can do that. We are checking those messages several times a day, and we will get back to you as soon as we get that message. But the fastest turnaround time all around is to send us an email. So thank you all very